The story continues right here, right now in the FIA Formula 2 Championship with a green light at the end of the pit lane and 22 young stars of the future heading out there as they do battle in a qualifying session which sets the grid for both races this weekend. In the commentary box, my name is Amy, delighted to be with you once again, and alongside me still is Tom.
I'd say this weekend and the next weekend are the hardest ones, and obviously with my trainer we've heard that it was going to be a hot one, so I actually bought like a sauna suit that I've been using at home to train, which you just sweat and sweat and sweat, so you're on the treadmill for an hour just running in this kind of astronaut looking suit. And then additionally you have to hydrate quite a lot throughout the weekend, make sure that you have everything you need, and then training, all the training that you do at home, in the gym, outside of the gym, or when you get here, because at the end of the day, if you're in the car and you're thinking, oh my god, this steering wheel's heavy or it's really hot, that takes away your attention from driving. So at the end you just need to do as much preparation as you can so you're not thinking about that when you're driving.
He'll be hoping to build on his performance in Australia, where he bagged a podium finish in the sprint race. There is the Invicta pit wall watching on, not just him, but his teammate Roman Stanek, who's been around in the series for some time now. Where will he end up by the end of this year? Only time will tell. Victor Martin focusing on achieving a feat which Rafa Kamara has been able to do in F3 by getting 2 pole positions from 2 on the F1 support bill for this year. And he is on his way now to begin his first time lap in this qualifying session in Sakhir.
He is indeed, as he puts his foot down, and Victor Martins, the French driver, who is the the Formula 3 champion, I should say, from 2022 as well. Our reigning champion is, of course, Leonardo Fornaroli. And Fornaroli will be looking to try and contend in this session, Victor Martins. So Victor Martins is making his way through down to us turn before. A little apology as for the loss of mics that we had earlier on as well. That is all sorted and that is all fixed. So apologies for that little technical issues. And hello to Plug and also Synthel as well, who are in the chat watching on this session.
Indeed, as we do see Martins here on his lap with a decent first sector. Of course, we do have some of our installation laps coming in. Cordial currently quickest in this session, but of course those laps will certainly fly down, as we can see the timing board on the left side of our screens. And let's see what Martins can do. But of course, going into this race, we didn't actually see a feature race last time out in Australia. So going into this season, of course, there'll be a few drivers that haven't driven here in Formula 2 before. And now, of course, this weekend now, hopefully, I don't reckon there'll be rain here. If there is, I'm surprised. Of course, be able to drive their first feature race of the championship and see what they can do, more of a marathon of a race rather than a sprint.
Yes, I was talking with Tom earlier. It will be race 200 as well on Sunday for FIA Formula 2 as we come and complete these laps now. So Montoya goes to the top. Victor Martins is quickest of all in the middle part of the lap. Miata is second. Martins moves up all the way to the top of the table. Still early ones. They're all just getting some bankers in. Mini is into now that second place. Roman Stanek, who had an incident here 2 years ago at turn number 4, making contact with Vesti on what was a wild opening lap to that feature race. As we now see Roman Stanek navigate his way through. Turn 14, 15, he's about 10th down, and he'll make his way into the pit lane as Dunn is going quickest of all in the first sector.
Well, he actually backed out, went back onto the racetrack. Now, he did go over the white line at the entry only, so one of the stewards will take note of Stanek there, because he tried to get a tow off the AIX racing ahead, and he came back, he came over the pit entry line and came back out of it, so I will wonder if that lap will still remain validated. Alex Dunn, meanwhile, heading over the line to complete his first time lap. Second place it is for him. Nicely done by the McLaren Junior. Leo Fornaroli in the Invicta, heading over the line. Where will he end up? Fastest of them all.
Absolutely. Fornaroli to the top by 4.5 tenths of a second. Decent margin at this stage. Still we're going to get a lap. Still we're going to get lap times for most of our contenders, including the MP Motorsports, who were 1 and 2 earlier on in the 45 minutes of practice that these guys had as well. So it's Fornaroli, Martins, Dunn, Stanek and Mini, your top 5 at this stage, and it was Fornaroli who definitely went all guns blazing in his first lap.
Of course, a really nice lap there from Leonardo Fornaroli, but that's what we expect from our F3 reigning champion. Very, very quick driver, and of course into a team that was very competitive last season, so we expect to see a lot more from him. And of course, Pepe Marte here in the pits hasn't been out yet for a lap time. Of course, we'll be going out very shortly with just over 20 minutes to go in this qualifying session here for the Bahrain Grand Prix. And of course, the ones that haven't gone out, I think it's by choice, luckily with no issues, because a lot of them, it's been the whole team that hasn't gone out. Both MPs, both the Dams, Campos, Isaac and AIX haven't set, or at least haven't been out, or haven't set representative runnership.
Yeah, we're still going to get lots of pushing from loads of different drivers. Sintel in the chat, I think it means to say that first time you've seen a JB Motorsport watch along with without Joshua Birch as well. Well, there has been quite a few, but yes, he is commentating on other series, including MotoGP World Superbike as well, during these sessions. So he is not with us this weekend in FIA Formula 2 as they all debate track position out there on the circuit.
Yeah, those both of the rodents get out of the way of the Trident who was coming through. The Trident will have been Max Esterson going past them at turn 12. We're looking at Gabriele Mini, who made his cameo appearance in Formula 2 last year in Baku when he substituted for Ollie Behrman, who was racing for Haas in Formula 1 that weekend. But he did obviously make an impression in Australia as well, bearing in mind there's an abundance of talent within this man, and I really can't wait to see what he can deliver on the grid here in Formula 2 full time. We're still yet to see times on the board for, well, most of the field, it has to be said. 10 drivers have set representative lap times. We've got Amory Cordial in 10th position, which would be enough for him to take reverse grid pole. Just to remind you, to those who are new to Formula 2, we've had the 45-minute practice session, half an hour of qualifying to determine the grid for both races 1 and 2. The exception being that the top 10 qualifiers get reversed for tomorrow's sprint race, which is the shorter distance event. The feature race, which is held on Grand Prix Sunday, is longer with a mandatory pit stop included. So a lot to look forward to this weekend as we watch Mini head over the line to complete another lap, but it doesn't look like it's going to be an improvement, Omi.
Yeah, no, not a lot of improvements across the board at this stage. The drivers just across the line as well. You've got the 2 Van Amersfoort. First of all, you're going to get runner-up from the GB3 Championship last year, John Bennett, who had 2 rounds at the back end of last year as well, who really impressed, especially in the Qatar feature race, being able to grab some points in his first weekend. Villa Gomez in his 2nd season, and he is the driver that finds himself in 10th position. And Villa Gomez, who managed to get 12th here 1 year ago in the feature race, will be looking to try and match the same feat, and will be hoping for quite a bit of chaos as well, like a Formula 2 feature race usually can deliver, Richie.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Formula 2 over the past couple of seasons, I think personally has got really competitive. You know, we've seen championships going right to the end, and I think that's something that's going to carry on more and more, of course, as we develop these Formula 2 cars. Constant changes every season happening with these cars, and it's only gotten better. And I think we're going to be in for a really interesting championship this season, as we do hear from Lindblad.
That matters, so first push, we need 2 units.
Yeah, we're hearing that the first lap.
So, Arvid Lindblad, of course, part of the Red Bull Academy, and he is definitely set on his way with a Formula 1 drive, definitely in the future at some point whenever Red Bull seem to want to fit him in. They've made sure that he gets the super license points no matter what happens in this season, so it'll be really, really interesting to see what is going to happen with that. Currently, the driver in our picture is Joshua Dirksen, the winner of the last 2 Formula 2 races, Abu Dhabi feature race and the sprint race in Albert Park. He's now going to come around the final corner, and now he'll go attacking in his AIX down towards turn number 1.
See how he gets down to turn 1. Has he got the rear wing open? I don't think
DRS.
he has. No DRS,
He'll
no.
go
So
for another, he'll go for another outlap, won't he?
yeah. So he's doing another prep light. Will Josh, as we hear an interview from him. Oh no, so he's...
You know, all the hours and work and from the engineering staff, mechanics, etc. We're really happy. So I don't want to say surprised, but we are ahead of schedule with regards to our progress plan. So really, really happy.
Good to hear from our team principal at AIX, and they've definitely had an effect once they came in at the Imola round. Josh Dirksen hoping for some more phone calls with the president this year, and he started it off with a brilliant victory to start off the campaign. And Richie, what was your opinion on his performance? Of course, we weren't able to have you on any of the races in Australia. So what was your opinions on Dirksen's performance?
Really good. I mean, I do feel a bit for Dirksen because, of course, you know, from where he came from, people were thinking he's not going to do a good job or whatever. And then he came and did really well, but then people started blaming the engine, and I don't think that was fair, because I think last season he did a really good job. Regardless of the engine, he was a really, really quick driver. And of course, going into this brand new season, different engine, people can't use that excuse straight away. He's got himself a race win in the sprint race. That is absolutely brilliant. And I feel like if the team can help give him the car, can get the right setups on, and you know, and if he can keep it up, he'll be a championship contender.
There have been lots of track limits deletions, Luke, at heat 13, so just watch the wind pushing you off the exit there.
Coming up.
It has indeed, and yes, I agree.
Yeah, so Villa Gomez...
And he will be a championship contender for sure, and he will be one to keep an eye on. If he keeps picking up those race victories, and most of all just be consistent round after round after round. Oliver Gautham was the quickest driver when it came to practice. I can tell you that he is pushing on into turn number 1, as is his teammate, the most experienced driver in the field, Richard Vishal.
Just want to apologise for the interview that was happening. Well, I thought it was going to be Josh Dirksen being interviewed, but it wasn't. It was a member of team personnel from AIX Racing who was being interviewed, so I do apologise for that. But meanwhile, we've got Ollie Gurtha on a lap heading towards sector number 1. He's 3/10 down from Fornaroli's time at this stage of the lap, so he's got some work to do. Ollie Gurtha, who ended practice fastest ahead of his MP Motorsport teammate Richard Forshaw, who ended up second both are gunning for a really strong result in qualifying. Of course, we've got a lot of drivers who haven't set representative laps so far, half the field to be exact. Ollie Goethe, of course, is one of them. So he'll be hoping to get a really good time on the board. With 15 minutes to go, the sun is setting, the track is continuing to pick up. So these lap times, no matter how good you've done so far, they will tumble down.
They will get faster and faster and faster. Let's see what the second sector is looking like for the German driver, Ollie Goethe, as he pushes on 6/10 away. So he will be trying to find himself into the top 10 for sure, if he can keep it together when it comes to our third part of the lap. For sure, definitely much more in contention, at least to get himself onto the front row as well. We'll keep an eye on Pepe Marti. He's also up there and in the mix as well. So let's see what Ollie Goethe does across the line in a few moments. Crawford, the American driver, goes to 4th position. Goethe sets a time on the board, and that lap time is into P8.
Indeed, very nice there from Goethe as Lindblad goes up into P8. Richard for sure onto the front row, around 3/10 off of that pole position time. And we see Kushmani into P13. What about Pepe Marti? To the line goes into 2nd place with a purple sector 3. A very nice lap there from Pepe Marti. And then here we see Joshua Dirksen Browning up into top 4 there, currently on the 2nd row of the field. Beganovic up into that top 10. And of course, Joshua Dirksen, can he look to try and fight for that pole position? Heading up to the line now in the AIX car, unfortunately, will be 19th. 1.1 seconds off, as we did see, I think, there, Megatunif jumping up into 8th place, just 6/10 away from pole position, as that is Leo Fornaroli's car.
Yeah, Fornaroli currently in the pit lane, but it was a great first time. We mentioned it was all guns blazing straight away compared to the rest of the field. He just went out there, he wanted to get the time in. He did get the lap time in, and it was definitely quite a great effort. He is 2/10 ahead of now Pepe Marti. The short is in 3rd, and then it's Browning and Martins who complete our top 5 as well. Right now as it stands, which, as we mentioned, it's all going to change, but it belongs to Dino Beganovic in terms of reverse grid pole for the race tomorrow. Dino Beganovic, who's been on the podium once in his FIA Formula 2 career, and that was in the sprint race in Abu Dhabi.
So Martin's just trying to keep cool there. We saw the tyres come off Leo Fornaroli's car, and that'll be just to help cool the brakes, or keep the brakes cool for now, because when you stick the tyres on, you are basically trapping the air inside the brakes, and they won't cool as much if you leave the tyres on the car. So nice thinking there from Invicta, just to take the tyres off for now, because they don't need to go out for this for the time being. They can just wait another 5 minutes or so before they start sticking the tyres on and sending Fornaroli on his way. Pepe Marti currently in P2, one of 18 different race winners in 2024 in FIA Formula 2. He'll be hoping to build on his sprint win in Abu Dhabi, which made it 18 race winners overall. I'm really looking forward to see what Marti does this year, because we saw in FIA Formula 3 that he can be consistent. He has been really unlucky last year on the receiving end of incidents which he either caused or were caused by someone else. But I think there's more in Martin than what we've already seen from him in FIA Formula 2 so far.
Yeah, we were discussing how he had 7 retirements last year as well, earlier on in practice. So definitely is a possibility. Sebastian Montoya is in 12th position, and it's definitely not the positions you want to be in, considering you're very close to the top 10. It's the dreaded 11th that currently belongs to his teammate though, Gabriele Mini.
Yeah, I was going to say though, only that's close. They were Lindblad's car. Looks like it nearly got dropped on the ground as he was going out. That was not ideal. As Pepe Marti also getting a change of tyre. And off he goes, very shortly. Oh, never mind. Never mind.
Absolutely. Prediction not coming right there as well when it comes to that. He's still in the pit lane, as is Mini, as we mentioned, who was able to get the podium in the one round that he did on debut, and we mentioned in practice that it was the first driver to do that since Jules Bianchi in 2010, to jump in mid-season and to be able to put in a performance like that. 10 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock to go. We still have multiple drivers who will be trying to get themselves into the top 10, and we're still going to get this order shuffled up quite in a major way. Max Esterson currently is in 16th, and you have the top 17 inside of 1 second.
Remarkable to see, loving every bit of it. But will it be the order by the end of this session? I highly doubt that. And you look at Max Esterson, who's competing his first full season in FIA Formula 2. Great to see him on the grid. Sammy Makatsuno has gone better than expected so far in 8th, graduating from FIA Formula 3. Some may say it was a little bit premature for him to be given Formula 2, the Formula 2 opportunity, but he's grabbed it with both hands and he's taking it like storm, and he's proving everyone wrong. As far as we know, Leo Fornaroli has the tyres on his car now, so it looks like he is about to exit the pit lane very, very shortly. You do need a couple of prep laps, so you need at least 4 minutes before you start going on your first run. Then they have a cool down lap, and then you do one final run just before the checker flag falls. That'll be what the teams and drivers are strategizing in the closing minutes of qualifying. 2 championship points on offer. Will it be Victor Martin again, or will it be someone else like Leo Fornaroli, another past Formula 3 champion, taking those illustrious points here in Bahrain?
Yeah, absolutely. Sammy Megatunev, 1 year ago, was able to get 2 wins in the Formula 3 Championship, and well, he got 2 podiums as well. But every time he was on the podium, it was the top step of the podium. We take a look at Jack Crawford, who's in 7th. Max Esterson, a driver who's come from sim racing, and Richie, you're heavily involved in, of course, the sim racing community. How great is it to see more and more drivers coming from that route?
It's brilliant, more than brilliant to see drivers here in real forms of motorsport. And I've noticed as well, not just in the big scene of motorsport, you've seen drivers as well from sim racing moving to karting and are starting their careers off. And it's brilliant to see sim racing now become a career path and a way to get into the real world of motorsport, because if you see the margins of how these sim racers have to drive and how similar it is in cases to real life, people don't realise how good of drivers they are. And once they get into those real cars and once they build confidence and they pass those fitness tests, a lot of them are more than capable of driving in some of the racing series. And of course, Esterson, coming from iRacing, a very quick driver over on there, straight up into normal, into race cars. And I think, considering his background, he's done a good job, because some of these drivers here have spent, years in karts, in other Formula Series, and, working their way up. He's gone from iRacing straight into racing cars.
Yeah, it's great to see more and more drivers being given the chance. And always, when we do hold a race of champions, E-Rock is always as well, when we see all of those drivers compete, and one of them gets the opportunity to race in the actual race of champions as well. So that's always enjoyable to see every single year, and it's great to see more and more drivers using that. I mean, I was listening to Nicola Solov's Instagram thing with Formula 3 yesterday, and his passion also did come from the racing game. It wasn't from the real thing, it came from the racing game. So it's not, even if it's not competitively racing, it's just the game allowing and giving more and more drivers opportunities, and giving them passion to come here and race in real life in a championship like this, where you are one step away from reaching Formula 1, which is where all of the drivers want to end up. 6 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock to go, and it's now time to see who's going to be claiming those 2 points of pole that you mentioned, Tom.
Yeah, but also, if you know you're not going to be on pole, or probably not going to be on pole, make sure you are in the top 10 to keep yourself in the fray for good points over the course of the race weekend. Alex Dunn going rather well for Rodeo Motorsport in 6th place. The man from the Republic of Ireland going very, very nicely so far in his debut season in this championship. He'll be hoping to be up there with the likes of Leo Fornaroli, who is the highest of the rookies, bearing in mind he has just graduated from FIA Formula 3 last year. They won the title without winning a single race. In contrast, Richard Bashaw, who is the most experienced driver out of all the drivers in the field, going into his 5th full season, as far as I remember correctly. He is in need of a strong year.
Absolutely. He is in need of a strong year. We're taking a look at car number 1 that belongs to reigning Formula 3 champion Leonardo Fornaroli. Directly in behind is the McLaren colours of Alex Dunn as well. And Alex Dunn comes under the same category as Joshua Dirksen in terms of trying to get their nation all the way to the top, and trying to get a driver into Formula 1 as well. So, looking at the Invicta pit wall, and they will be waiting and seeing whether they can have both cars in the top 10. Fornaroli looks likely, but it can all still change. Stanek is also currently inside the top 10, so that could give Invicta a chance, Richie, for both races this weekend. Fornaroli to fight for the feature, Stanek to fight for the sprint.
Definitely, and Stanek as well, another driver that's looked to be, you know, in a little bit of better form here starting this season. Of course, Pinon at the moment after a decent first run. Of course, looking to go again here with just under 5 minutes to go. Look, seeing what he can do. Hopefully top 10 for him, as we do see a few cars here heading down towards turn 8. I think one of them there being Pepe Marti, who currently sits in P2. Of course, after a very up and down season in 2024, but this season looking to try and get back to the top and fight for victories and fight for those heavy points as we continue our way on. And I've got to say as well, a really nice job so far by Richard Verschoor, who of course has been here a very, very long time. I think the most experienced driver now in Formula 2, still fighting near the top, considering his seasons the past 2 or 3 years haven't also been the best.
Absolutely. Victor Martin just making his way through as well. The driver in fourth, Luke Browning, was the winner of the Formula 3 feature race here 1 year ago. So he's a driver who knows how to win that race. Of course, Formula 2 will have a pit stop for its feature race, so it'll be a slightly harder, definitely a harder exam question when it comes to feature race on Grand Prix Sunday. We're looking to set the grid for that though, and also for tomorrow's race when we reverse the top 10. Here we go with Victor Martins in his new Williams Academy colours, attacking down into turn number 1.
You can see the brakes glowing on the front of that ART. You can see getting the car slow down in a straight line before you can start rotating. The DRS Open on the back straight between turns 3 and 4. How does he place the car? Does he do so? You can just see the dust coming off the brakes there from the sand that he had been over a little bit whilst he was weaving the tyres during his recon laps. But now as he heads towards the end of sector 1, 4 thousandths up from what Fornaroli has done previously. And this is a rather smooth lap so far from Victor Martin, recently signed into the Williams Academy setup. And now he's heading up and down towards turn 9 and the notorious turn 10, the left-hander, before he gets the car turned in. And he's coming onto the back straight now. DRS Open once again before he approaches turn 11. We have seen drivers run wide here in the past. We're just getting out on the dust and dragging them into the run-off area there. Looked like he got a kick of oversteer on entry there, fighting the car all the way through. And now he's got the turn 12. It almost feels like a bit of a breeze, a little bit of fresh air before he applies the brakes for turn 13. 3 turns up with a purple sector 2. So far, so good. But turn 14 and 15 is where it can all go wrong and your lap being thrown away. Martin needs to put together a tidy exit and a tidy entry into the next couple of corners if he is to be on pole for the second round running in FIA Formula 2. Out of the final corner, the DRS Open before the line, and this is a very nicely done lap, a 1:44.1 for the Frenchman.
Superstar from Victor Martins, onto pole position. Mini goes to third. Luke Browning is going quickest of all in the first sector. Montoya moves up to 7th place. On board with the highly experienced Richard Verschoor. Can he get himself up there? Onto the front row for him. He gets ahead of Leonardo Fornaroli. Browning is close. He is in range of Victor Martins. Fornaroli will get the right to reply as well. It is Martins, Verschoor, Fornaroli. As it stands, Lindblad gets into the top 10. Dun's making his way through. Bennett with a great lap as well. For P6, it's all still yet to change. Out of the final corner for Luke Browning as Roman Stanek improves to the front row. Can Luke Browning get himself to pole? Can he get ahead of Victor Martins? No. It's going to be Victor Martins who's going to have it. Dun is improving. Fornaroli's going even quicker as well. Keep an eye on Fornaroli and Dun. Can Dun bring out a big surprise, or will it be the reigning Formula 3 champion to find the time? One more corner to go on this lap. Villa Gomez to 6th. The Van Amersfoort are performing so well. Our race winner from last time out is Joshua Dirksen. He's in P8. Leonardo Fornaroli going for pole in Bahrain. Has he got it? He has, by a 1/10.5 across the line. Turn to 4th. Superstar from him as well in the papaya colours, as Mega Tunif will be coming across the line soon as well. It's Fornaroli, Martins and Browning, our top 3 as it stands. Can Mega Tunif get himself into the top 10? And he will do so into 7th. Great lap time for Mega Tunif, and as it stands, it's Dirksen on reverse grid pole. Does anyone have the tyres to go again if they have enough time?
Well, we've got 25 seconds to go. Sorry, yeah, Richie, go on.
No, I was going to say, we're going to have to see. I think a few drivers are going to go again, but I think maybe only 1 or 2 that nearly near at the back.
Yeah.
Phenomenal, phenomenal. What an incredible Formula 2 qualifying session. Well, that looks like it's it. That looks like we are done unless anyone else has the lap time. Fornaroli and Invicta know that they have taken the 2 points for pole, and the reigning Formula 3 champion has delivered absolutely brilliantly, and that is going to be him starting with pole. He started on pole for the sprint as well. He was reversed up to that position. Now he's going to get to do it for the feature race. Let's see whether he'll be able to maintain the lead this time into what will be the 200th race for Formula 2. Dirksen, though, on reverse grid pole for tomorrow's sprint contest.
Sitter.
You lost a bit of margin, but I think that looks like pole position, mate. Good job. Confirmed? Is it confirmed or no? I think that's confirmed, mate, yes. You're P1. Great job, guys.
Waiting for official confirmation. Phenomenal, phenomenal. Waiting for official confirmation there. But the confirmation has come to him, and he realizes that he is a Formula 2 pole sitter after his absolutely phenomenal start earlier on as well. As now we take a look at a replay. This is Dino Beganovic, who will be on the front row for tomorrow's race, and he had a big lockup, as did so many drivers. This is Arvid Lindblad.
Yeah, pushing ever so hard as the temperatures came down there, giving a little bit of encouragement to just push it a little without overheating the brakes, pushing a little bit too much. This is Kean Shields, who almost having a spin there, getting well out of shape, but gathering it all up. Nicely done there by the Brit. He'll start from the back of the grid though, unfortunately, Kean Shields. He got to 2 seconds of what Fornaroli had set, but this man will be very, very happy. Luke Brown in 3rd place on the grid.
P3. Good job, mate.
That was so good, guys. Well done. Great learning from the test. We came, applied. Good job, boys. I'm really happy with that execution. Exactly where we said we wanted to be. We're there. Well done.
Well, I'm...
Fantastic, fantastic, and he'll go for another podium as well. And well, we've seen it before as well around the circuit. Bologna, for example, he started in 3rd for the feature race last year. If you can find the pace, you can even come. If you're Fornaroli, Martins, Browning or Dunn, you start ahead for the feature race, but if you've got the pace, you could even attack in the sprint and maybe even do the double like Maloney did. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch though.
Good job, guys. Great job. Good job. Nice. That was really good. On to the race now.
But I think around this circuit, Richie, the possibilities are endless of what we could see. We've seen the double. We've seen Charles Leclerc make a pit stop in a sprint race and get to the front. This circuit just delivers everything.
It does, and I really can't wait for the sprint race. I think this is one of the pinnacles of F2, isn't it, the Bahrain circuit? A really great circuit here for racing, and it's proven it every year we've been here. So maybe it could be the double for Fornaroli. We'll have to see what he can do, of course, next time out. But of course, Dirksen on pole position will be looking yet again to take 2 wins, to be the first to take 2 wins this season.
Yeah, and I mean, 3 wins in a row it would be if he's able to win tomorrow. Yeah. Absolutely wild stuff in FIA Formula 2 as well. As we look down on the circuit, FP2 will be taking place soon as well. That will be the next on-track action as well here on this Grand Prix Friday, and we'll be sprinting for both of the races, for Formula 3 and also for Formula 2. They're both going to be exciting, and then on Sunday we'll be holding our feature races. They're going to be really, really fun to watch and to see how they all play out. But Fornaroli's done the job on the Friday. Will he be able to do it in the 200th race though on Sunday, as all of them now return back to the support series pit lane?
Drivers heading back. Very nice to see that they've all go back. No incidents either throughout that session. All the drivers keeping their cars intact throughout that qualifying session, and they're all making their way there back to the support paddock. And now it's time to run down on the full classification of qualifying in FIA Formula 2 in Bahrain.
It absolutely is. The sun is starting to set even further ahead of Formula 1's outing, and it is time now to talk you through our results from the FIA Formula 2 qualifying session. It's our second qualifying session of the season, and it's going to set the grid for both races, with the top 10 being reversed when it comes to the sprint race tomorrow. Here we go then, on our screen, after a little bit of waiting. Leonardo Fornaroli is provisionally on pole unless there's any stewarding or any late issues, but it's going to be Victor Martin alongside him on the front row, and we have Luke Browning in third, Jun in fourth, then it's Stanek, Vishal, Megatunif, Willa Gomez, Viganovic and Dirksen. And then we have Pepe Martin, Gabriele Mini, John Bennett, Jack Crawford, and then we also find ourselves with Goethe, Lindblad, Esterson, Montoya, Miata, Maney, and then at the back it's Cordial and Shield. Well, Formula 2 really need to run off because they gave me absolutely no time with that graphic. But can we get final thoughts then?
Great session, clean one as well. All coming down to the sprint tomorrow.
It's going to be fun. Richie?
Yeah, really good qualifying session there, of course. Lots on the line for Corderoli and Dirksen over the weekend. But very interesting with the likes of Megatuni, Fatura and Villa Gomez also in that top 10.
It's going to be a very fun sprint Saturday with Formula 3 and Formula 2. Join us for the fight between Joshua Dirksen and Dino Beganovic down to turn number 1 when the sprint race begins around this Bahrain International Circuit.